Digital Narrative by Karina Martinez. Soccer has always been part of my life growing up. My father would watch it constantly, and my brother even played it for some of his life. When I went to the games that my brother played, I was always mesmerized by the game, footwork, and energy. I've always wanted to play, but never told my family, so they never considered putting me on a team when I was younger. When I was offered to play for club, I was more than interested in playing. So when I told my family, they were not only happy for me, but they were extremely supportive and only encouraged me to play more. My family isn't always this great though. A lot of the time they aren't fair to me because I'm not only the youngest, but I'm female. Till this day, I'm not allowed to do half the things that my brother had the chance to do. At my age, my brother was in Chicago living with my grandmother because at the time we moved out here, he didn't want to leave his friends. He wanted to graduate with them. If the roles were switched and I was the one who wanted to stay in Chicago to graduate with my friends, my parents wouldn't think twice about saying no. They think going anywhere outside of Joliet and Plainfield is already too dangerous, and they always worry too much since it seems like I can't protect myself since I'm a female. They do allow me to go to work though, and when I'm at work, I feel very useful because I am a bilingual speaker. Me being Mexican and bilingual has helped me at my job by helping me communicate with the Spanish-speaking customers. Since I work at JCPenney, there are a lot of Latinos who shop there because there are coupons every day. Not everyone at JCPenney can speak Spanish, and a lot of our Latino customers prefer being helped by someone who can speak their native language because they feel more comfortable. The managers always make sure to schedule someone who can communicate with the Latino customers, so if the customer can't understand English too well, someone can help them. I'm usually the person that my coworkers go to for when the customer wants a Spanish-speaking sales associate. In the book Hamlet, I read that Hamlet's family isn't completely ordinary. King Hamlet was killed by his brother, little Hamlet's uncle, and Hamlet's mother remarried within months of her first husband's death with Hamlet's uncle. Hamlet isn't at all prepared to be king either. His parents never taught him how to be his own person or be more confident in himself, and he never actually had goals set for himself because he was never pushed by his parents, and Hamlet doesn't have any siblings to set examples for. I don't have these issues because all my siblings are older, so they all set an example for me, and they help me out when I need it most. I set goals for myself because they taught me how. In things relating to siblings, the movie She's the Man, Viola pretends to be her twin brother on campus so she can work in the Duke's household, but it was only for male positions because society is male dominant, and Viola needed a job and she thought dressing as her brother was her only solution. The movie makes it seem as though women can't do the job or just can't do it as well as men could. This focuses on a more how gender is important to society and how at the end a woman can do a job that society thinks men can only do. Gender only affects me when it comes to growing up with my siblings. They favored my brother since he was the only boy. There isn't a job out there that can only be done by a man or a woman, but speaking a different language can only limit to those who can actually speak the language. For example, in the film Crash, Farhad doesn't speak the best English, and his understanding of the language can become complicated because he misinterprets what people are saying to him because his understanding is just as poor as his speaking of English. Farhad's daughter, who can speak English well, has to be the translator for both parts. Her father can better understand what people mean when his daughter speaks their language, which is why in the film he didn't understand what the locksmith meant by fixing the door. I don't necessarily have this issue because everyone in my family can both speak and understand English well. Throughout my years at West, I have seen many changes in how I interpret text and interact with others. Farhad affected me greatly because I never thought about myself in terms of race before reading it. It made me re-examine my ability to communicate with other people that speak a different language, and now when I read other texts, I find myself focusing on the privileges bilingual speakers have to be able to speak another language and speak to others in the same language more than I have ever did before.